Hello, and welcome to this video in which I will talk about how to publish a Connect app for Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central. My name is Daniel Rimmelzwa, and I am a partner with Cloud Ready Software, one of the ISV development centers who can help you with just about anything related to Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central. Here are the objectives for this video. First, I'll go over the basics and I'll talk about the available app types and take you on a quick tour around AppSource. I'll talk about how you can get the process started. You'll need to sign up as a Microsoft partner, get your AppSource submission started in the various portals that Microsoft uses for this purpose. And for the most part, developing Connect apps is done outside of the Business Central development tools. And since you're connecting to Business Central, not extending it, you can use any development tool that is used to develop for web services. I won't go into meaningful detail about the development process as such, but I'll refer you to some other videos. The validation process for Connect apps only includes a marketing validation, and I will show you where to find the details of this process. Let's get started. First, we'll go into Connect apps themselves. Let's take a moment and talk about Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central and provide some context for the concept of Connect apps. Business Central is a business management solution that helps companies connect their financials, sales, services, and operations to streamline business processes, improve customer interactions, and overall make better decisions. Business Central is available in the cloud and to users across various types of devices, and it is always up to date with the latest features. With this modern business platform, you can easily tailor the user experience, extend and build applications so they fit your specific needs. Business Central is one of the strongest offerings that are available in the very rich ecosystem that Microsoft has created, especially for the SMB space. Microsoft has made a big investment to integrate Business Central with their other Azure services and SaaS products such as Office 365, Flow, Power BI, other Power Apps. Together with the standardization of connectors and gateways and the potential of the common data model and common data services, this integration is a very important area of focus for Microsoft. So the expectation is that there will be a lot of development around those capabilities. Microsoft partners have the opportunity to create products and services using all of those standard SaaS products. But they can also go beyond that and build extended functionality that integrates seamlessly with Business Central. To learn more about this topic, please watch the video about the Dynamics 365 Business Central partner opportunity and some of the other videos about this topic. Business Central can be extended by building what we call apps. We've categorized this into 3 types of apps that you can build. We look at these 3 app types from the perspective of a customer scenario rather than focusing on the technology itself. When we talk about embed apps, we are talking about an end-to-end solution where the entire experience is provided in a single solution. You can think about a complete package that provides all necessary elements for a legal firm or a dentist office. And in these types of scenarios, you need ERP, you need finance management, you need inventory. All of those elements are then provided in a complete package that's tailored for that experience. Add-on apps enable ISV partners and VAR partners to extend Business Central with additional capabilities built right into the experience that the end user is used to and feels comfortable in. Common scenarios can be shipping, inventory planning, extended capabilities around order creation, banking, payroll, really anything that goes beyond the capabilities of standard Dynamics 365 Business Central. And then finally, Connect apps are for when a customer needs to connect 2 different systems. For instance, a possible scenario can be where a payroll system connects to Business Central to send in journal lines. Another scenario could be where a website connects to Business Central to exchange item and order information for an e-commerce solution. There are many such scenarios where you would need to connect to Business Central from an external system. So in addition to the product itself, Microsoft has also created a platform to make apps and consulting services available in an online marketplace called AppSource. So let's take a quick look at AppSource. So here's AppSource. This is the opening page when you click on AppSource. Inside of AppSource, maybe you would like to search on something like migration tools, and that would filter the list of apps that are available inside of AppSource. And up here, you can then select Dynamics 365 and further filter down on Business Central. And these are 5 examples of migration tools for Business Central specifically. And if I remove the filter on migration, I can see that there are a total of 135 apps at the moment, and we have about a little bit more than 100 consulting services. As you can see, there is a variety of different apps available for Business Central, and these apps are available in a number of different types of monetization, different models that are available for those apps. So you can see some free trials. You have some apps that only have an option to contact the maker. There is an app that has a test drive, and so there's a variety of different ways to market your app in AppSource. And besides the apps, there's also a number of consulting services, and these consulting services are pre-packaged, predefined services for fixed prices or for free. You can see a number of different ones. You have a number of these offers for an hour assessment for free, another hour assessment for free, a 3-day workshop for a certain price, a 2-week or 4-week implementation for a certain price. Lots of different ways to put consulting services together with products. And most of these products currently are add-on apps. There's a handful of Connect apps, and I will show you a couple of examples a little bit later. A Connect app establishes a point-to-point connection between Dynamics 365 Business Central and a third-party solution or service. This connection is typically created using a standard REST API to interchange data. Any programming language that is capable of calling these REST APIs can be used to develop your Connect app. Business Central exposes around 50 standard APIs at this moment, and more will be added over time. Online service offerings like payroll, expense management, web shops, project planning, many more typically have many connection points. Connect apps allow you to make connections between those online service offerings and your business solution. This connection can then be achieved on a data level without needing to do development inside Business Central. Therefore, reusing those connection points provides you with an opportunity to reuse your investments from REST integrations with other cloud services. Optionally, you can add a custom interface in Dynamics 365 Business Central, which determines how your data needs to flow between Dynamics 365 and your online service offerings. So if you need to extend standard Business Central capabilities, we advise you to watch the video about add-on apps. And so you could have a situation in which you have an add-on app on top of a Connect app, or vice versa, where those two types of apps connect to each other and work together. Creating your integration through an API provides simple access to the supported functionality in a common endpoint, giving you a simplified experience for creating a single app with integrations across multiple Microsoft products. And these endpoints use Azure Active Directory authentication to get access. And one in particular that I'd like to point out is the Microsoft product-wide Microsoft Graph. And Microsoft Graph is going to be used for many Azure services, such as Power BI and the Power Apps, Office 365, and a bunch of other SaaS products that you could include in your Connect app. Consumers are not bound by their home computer anymore. They have a multitude of devices at their disposal, and they couldn't care less where they get access to their stuff, as long as it works properly and it connects them together seamlessly. Graph was envisioned to be agnostic when it comes to development environment or device, and a lot of these SaaS products are. So no matter what your development platform of choice is, no matter what device you target, as long as you can build an app that can consume these APIs, you can create a Connect app. And the only limit that remains is whatever you can imagine. So how do you proceed from here? There's an existing video called Intro to Connect App on YouTube or in the Dynamics Learning Portal. I've provided a link here, and in that video I go into some greater detail on how to build connection using the APIs. Then get a tenant and play with the APIs. So get started by going to the Get Started with APIs link for a quick connection by way of Postman or any other type of development tool that uses REST API calls. Directly access your tenant URL and use basic authentication. You would need to set up a web service access key, which I describe in that intro video. And if you find missing entities, if you find missing fields, if you need methods to be requested, new bound actions, go onto the AL GitHub repository and provide some feedback to Microsoft. And then you start building Connect apps. So go to the aka.ms/Business Central Connect Apps link, and you should get the latest, greatest on Connect apps. In this next section, we'll talk about how you get the process started. How you get the process started first starts with what is the process itself. As a partner, you would go into AppSource and you would submit an idea into AppSource. Then you get started by creating your access to a variety of portals. And these portals are, one is the Cloud Partner Portal, one is called Collaborate, one is called Partner Source. And so you will need to get set up with a number of accounts to be able to develop an app for AppSource. Then the next step is to actually develop the app. You provide the app metadata in the Cloud Partner Portal, and then you submit that app for validation. For Connect apps, there's only a marketing validation, and at some point there is an approval decision. And if that approval decision is yes, then the app is loaded into AppSource. And if it's not, we go back to developing the app. And by developing the app, I mean it's the technical development of the app itself, but it's also developing the marketing material at the same time. And so especially the marketing material for AppSource is very important. This is something that you need to pay serious attention to. First, you submit your app into AppSource. This is an initial type of submission form where you specify your name and your company name and a short description of the app that you intend to build. So some contact information, some app information. Then within a couple of days, you get an email with guidance on how to proceed from there. And I just want to provide a couple of links where you can get started with these Connect apps. The most important one is the top one, the aka.ms/Business Central Connect Apps. This is a website, a web page that Microsoft will keep up to date with the latest information about Connect apps. In there, you will also have links to some white papers that will be important specifically to Connect apps. The current version is still being updated. There are updates to these documents on a regular basis. So make sure that you return and go back to this page regularly and see if something new has changed. So let's open a browser and open a new tab and see if we can go into that page. So this redirects to docs.microsoft.com, and we have here information about Connect apps. And so we explain what is a Connect app. There are a couple of examples of some of the current Connect apps on AppSource, and I will show you those in a few minutes. Some information on how do I develop Connect apps. There are some short videos that we've created on how to use APIs from a Connect app, how to create a custom web service, how to connect to one of those web services in an extension. And we also have some videos, some longer instructional training videos on how to do the development in there as well. And so these two links, publishing your Connect app to Microsoft AppSource, these are the two white papers that I mentioned before. And when you download these, they will have some checklists that are important for you to complete the process, and especially the marketing validation, which I will cover in a few minutes, is very important. So getting you started, you will need to create your accounts, and links to where you do this will be in that initial email that you get returned from AppSource. You should get this email within 2 or 3 days. If you don't get it within the 2 or 3 days, feel free to send a reminder email to the validation team, and they will check the status of your submission. So first, you create a Microsoft Partner Network account, which registers you as a partner. The next step is to create a PartnerSource Business Center, a PSBC account. This is important to get a developer license. For a Connect app, this is not so very important because you won't be developing inside of Business Central, but having the developer license is useful in case you decide to add an add-on app on top of your Connect app to expand the app capabilities. You'll need a developer account to identify as a development partner, a Cloud Partner Portal account to submit your app materials. And so that Cloud Partner Portal is important because this is where the actual app goes. This is where the actual marketing validation material will go. You will get onboarded in a program called Ready to Go to get assistance and help. Microsoft Collaborate is a portal where you can download the latest information, mostly for builds. And so this is where it will post information on updates to the APIs and that sort of thing. The process is continuously being fine-tuned. So especially for things like Connect apps and embed apps, of which there are fewer than add-on apps, there are constantly new situations that they will have to provide new services or new details for. And so this is in movement. There's movement in the way that this is being done. So it is important to know that there is movement in there. The process is being fine-tuned. So you have to be proactive and keep track of all the changes that are happening. So let me go back into AppSource and show you what it looks like to submit a new offer in AppSource. And I will also show you how to create a new offer in the Cloud Partner Portal. So let me switch back to the web browser and we'll go back to AppSource. And when we go here at the top, we have this link for a list on AppSource. And when you follow that, you go all the way down. There's this thing here, this link, submit your offer. And when you get that, you'll enter your information, your contact information. You will need that Microsoft Partner Network ID before you can submit this AppSource. So you'll need to register for that first. And then you select app, what type of offer you intend to publish. And then the type of app. There's no specific selection for a Connect app, but in here you will see Dynamics 365 Business Central add-in. When you select that, you'll give it a name and a description, and then when you complete this form, you hit submit, and that will put your offer, your new offer, into the right team to get follow-up information from you. And so from that moment on, from the moment that you submit that, by the way, it would be a good idea to take a screenshot so that if you have questions, if you want to connect to Microsoft with some follow-up, you can show them the offer that you've submitted. So it will be easier for them to find out about the status. Okay, that's the AppSource submission process. Now, if I go into the Cloud Partner Portal, this is that's this one. I can select new offer, and then when I click on Business Central, in here you'll have an offer ID, a publisher ID. This is what you would get as part of the sign up. So you would sign up for the Cloud Partner Portal. This information will be provided for you. Then you give the offer identity in there. In the technical info, you would select not add-on, but you would select connect. And when you enter that, the only technical part that you would have is a URL for the app installation. And the other part, this is where the marketing goes, that goes into the storefront detail. And so here's where you would enter and upload and provide all the information that is necessary for the submission in AppSource. When you've submitted your app into the Cloud Partner Portal, you will go through the AppSource marketing validation. So before we talk about that, I would like to just show you an example of what a Connect app looks like in AppSource. So let's go back to the Connect Apps page and just click on the first selection here of an example of one of the Connect apps on AppSource. So this is one of the entries. This is a Connect app because we just happen to know that this is a Connect app. But as you can see, this is on AppSource a standard entry in AppSource where you would have some categories, some industries, you have some license agreement, privacy policy, all of these elements that you see on the screen here. There's a little video, some screenshots. These are all part of the marketing validation. So part of the marketing validation is that you provide, for instance, a support landing page and a help landing page. So when you click on these, open them in new tabs, you can see that there is an actual support portal behind that product. There's actually a landing page that provides a fact sheet and a user guide. And so this product, this company created all this material that is part of your app. Your app should have a landing page, and that landing page should be unique for the product itself. You have to take care of branding, so you're not allowed to do certain things with a name of Business Central and abbreviations and that sort of thing. So you will have to take the marketing white paper, which is provided here, and when we open that, we can see the white paper that is part of developing and publishing the Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central Connect apps. And when you scroll down, there will be an actual checklist for marketing validation. And so it's very important that you print that thing, that you make sure that you have all the elements created. You actually have each and every single one item on that checklist done before you submit your app for marketing validation. So as I said, marketing validation includes branding guidelines. It elaborates the description of your app. You need to think about formatting and style. There's some mandatory content. So licensing, privacy policy, help, support, those are standard elements of an app for AppSource. So every app on AppSource has those elements. So this is like a quality control type of thing. Create your own landing page, and this is where you can go above and beyond the AppSource content. So AppSource is limited to what can be shown, and so you have the opportunity to create your own landing page and go well beyond, anything that's provided in AppSource, and really be creative and show what you want to do with your product. Video content is not required, but it's recommended to have at least one video on AppSource, and of course on your landing page you can have a ton of additional video content that goes beyond there, and have some calls to action. The common pitfalls of the validation: in general, there's a process that has a submit and then also a go live button to start the validation process itself. It's a two-step thing, and so often one of those two clicks are forgotten, and so you think you're going live, but you're not, so you have to make sure that you click that right button. Within marketing, there are often branding guidelines that are violated. Often they get submissions where support and help are on the same page, but these are essentially two extremely different things, and so you have to have support and help on separate pages. And what's often overlooked is the explicit business value that your app addresses. There's no technical validation, so on the technical side of your app, you are really responsible for the quality of your Connect app. Other than that, you need to show user documentation because they do want to be able to say, okay, where is the user documentation? What can I do with this app? And often, the technical testing fails. So we've seen this in add-in apps mainly, where they have a list of user documentation, user scenarios, and when the test team goes through those user scenarios, they see results that are not the same as the results that are described in the user documentation. And so in those cases, testing fails. In add-in apps, there's the capability of automated testing that's mandatory. In Connect apps, there are no such requirements at this point. or at least no process to make sure that those elements are all there. But we always recommend using proper DevOps procedures and putting automated testing and build solutions in place to make sure that you address Q&A elements. That was pretty much it as far as content. Here are some useful links about Business Central apps, Business Central Connect apps specifically. Here are two links for Ready to Go. Ready to Go himself has an AKA link, and then there's also the Dynamics Learning Portal, which is Ready to Go online learning, and the technical videos in the DLP are now actually also provided in the Dynamics 365 Business Central YouTube channel. So there are at least 2 videos about Connect apps. There's also a video about partner opportunity that might be interesting for you to watch. Then we have links to collaborate, to the Cloud Partner Portal, and the validation team email is on the right-hand side. And that's important for you to follow up when you submit your request into AppSource, for instance, and it takes more than 2 to 3 days. Feel free to send a reminder email to this email address, include a screenshot to your initial AppSource submission, and they'd be happy to help you get the status and help you move on to the next step. That was it. If you want to learn more, go to aka.ms/businesscentralapps. And that leaves me to say thank you for watching this video. Hopefully this was useful for you, and I want to wish you a good rest of your day.